Hey everybody, we're Armin and Candace, and we're a husband and wife real estate team right here in Salmon Arm, BC. If you want to know what it's like to live, work, and play here, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be posting videos every other week about the different areas, activities, and what to do here.
Yes, and we help people relocate to the Shuswap all the time, and we absolutely love it. So if there's anything that you think that we might be able to help you with your relocation up to the Shuswap, send us a message, call, text, however you want to get a hold of us. All our contact information is in the description box below. We would love to help you out. If you find this video helpful, we would love it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if there's any questions that you have, feel free to write those in the comments below. We love taking a look at those and responding to those as well. So without further ado, we're going to answer the question, what is it really like to live in Salmon Arm, BC?
Salmon Arm is known for being a small, friendly city located directly on the beautiful Shuswap Lake. With a population growth of just over 2%, it's growing faster than the national and the provincial averages. And that is because we have a lot of people moving here from the city during the pandemic and post-pandemic. And that's because it's a great place to live. People come here to retire, and a lot of people actually relocate here to raise their families. If you don't know where Salmon Arm is, it's located pretty much between Calgary and Vancouver, just about a 5-hour drive to each.
Yeah, and actually I grew up in Salmon Arm, it's my hometown, and Armin grew up in, Iran and then in Vancouver, so he's only ever lived in really, really big cities, whereas I've lived kind of all over, but we both relocated here most recently from the Lower Mainland, so we've kind of got that good experience of what it's actually like to relocate from a city with a lot of different amenities and services to a smaller city like this, and kind of what our experience has been, what we like and what we don't really like. And we're going to share all that with you today and through future videos as well. So let's get into it. We're going to start off talking about lifestyle.
People here are generally very laid back. It seems like nobody's in a rush to go anywhere. Everybody's really friendly and kind of goes out of their way to help each other. And part of that is because the population is only 20,000. So you almost feel like you know a lot of people. You run into a lot of the same people at the grocery store, at the gas station, out on the road, anywhere. So it just kind of gives you that sense of community.
Yeah, like you can't really go out and be super rude to someone or something like that, because you're probably going to run into them the next day. Yeah.
It's very rare to hear honking on the road. Like, I think we've only heard it like, what, once?
Yeah.
And we were both kind of shocked, like, oh, who are you? And there is no traffic here, pretty much, because the population is so small. And, well, it's a little bit different in the summer, especially if there's construction on the highway and a lot of tourists going through. It could be a little bit of traffic coming into town and leaving town. But other than that, it's pretty much non-existent. It takes us 5 minutes to go to work, and in the city, it used to take us 45, right? So it just kind of depends on where you work, but you can pretty much go from one side of town to the other in about 10 minutes.
And that is very dependent though on where you choose to live, because the Shuswap is, I mean, this is kind of about Salmon Arm, but like if we talk about the whole Shuswap, it's really spread out. So you could end up living maybe in an area like Blind Bay, which has a lot of beautiful homes. So that's about a 20-25 minute drive to Salmon Arm. So you still have some amenities out that way, but like it's not, if you're going to choose to live right in Salmon Arm, we say everything here is a 5-minute drive away. It pretty much is. But if you're going to choose one of the outside areas, you just have to kind of keep that in mind.
And one thing to keep in mind is that there is pretty much no public transportation, or the transportation system is lacking. And we don't have any services like Uber or Lyft here, and there's a couple of taxi companies, but it's not very many taxis, so you pretty much need a car to go around here.
It's not something that, like, they don't have buses that run 24/7, and you can't get to all areas, so you'll see a lot of people kind of walking around. And if not having a car is something that you want to do, it would just be important to choose a place to live that's actually close to where you need to go. Yeah. So everything is kind of walkable, but it just depends, what does walkable mean for you? Like,
well, you don't want to live up on a hill and have to walk back up the hill, right? Especially in the winter when it's icy.
Yeah. And like another big part of lifestyle, of choosing where you live, I think a big contributing factor is weather. So the weather in Salmon Arm, it's pretty typical like BC weather. We have 4 distinct seasons, probably with summer and winter being both the longest ones, especially lately. It seems like we don't really get much of a fall or a spring, just because our summer tends to run really long and then winter starts a little bit early, and then same on the other end. But typically, like in the summer, the really hot months, July and August, we're about maybe like 28 to 30 degrees is kind of the average temperature. And then in the winter, the cold months being like December, January, we're usually at about a -5, I think is the average temperature. But the last few years there's been these kind of cold snaps that have been happening, and we did experience like a -30. It was either earlier this month in December or in November. So there is a little bit of that as well, and it's something to consider if you are moving from the lower mainland. We do get a lot more snow here, so keeping in mind that you will be shoveling a driveway or that type of kind of maintenance that you need to keep up in the winter. It's really fun having the snow and being able to play in the snow, but it's not always for everyone actually to live in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next section, we're talking about recreation and why else move to the Shuswap if you don't plan on utilizing some of the amazing recreational activities we have in the summer and in the winter.
Yeah, and obviously the biggest thing that comes to your mind when you're talking about summer recreation is water sports on the Shuswap Lake. And Shuswap is a great spot for that. It's a very calm lake, and you can do all sorts of water activities like water skiing, canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding.
And I would say, like Armin's saying, it's a very calm lake. If you compare it to Okanagan Lake, which is the lake in Kelowna and behind Vernon, that's a pretty rough lake most of the time. And a lot of that is just due to the increased boat activity in the summer there, because it is such a popular tourist spot. But it's generally, anytime I've tried to water ski there, it's generally pretty rough, which isn't terrible, but usually for those types of conditions, you want it to be quite calm. And then even if you're just out enjoying your day boating, it's nice to not have to watch out for like 5,000 boats around you at all times. The Shuswap Lake is so big, and there's so many amazing kind of areas of it to explore. It's super popular with houseboating. It's like the #1 houseboating capital in BC, I believe. So the Shuswap Lake is shaped kind of like a angled H, and it has 4 different arms. There's all these different kind of areas that you can live around the Shuswap as well that will give you access to different parts of the lake. And while it might only take maybe 20 minutes to drive from Salmon Arm to Blind Bay by boat, that's probably about an hour, maybe to an hour and a half boat ride. That's just how big this lake actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of different golf courses around too that are really nice. The Talking Rock golf course out past Sorrento is one of the kind of talked about golf courses around here, but there's so many other ones as well, and they're all really beautiful. So that's something, if you're really into golf, that you can look at as well. And if you are, like, there's a really nice golf course in Blind Bay, Shuswap Lake Estates, and there's a lot of super gorgeous homes there right along the golf course as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, that might be an area that you might want to look into.
Yeah. And there's also lots of biking and hiking trails around. None of them are busy. You know, like we lived in Vancouver, and we used to drive out to Squamish and Whistler to go on these hikes, and it was really busy, and it was even hard to find parking spots. It's not like that here.
I think one of the reasons most people like living here is because of the winter activities that we have. And there's some really great mountains around us for skiing and snowboarding and cross-country skiing. Our personal favorite, well, my personal favorite is Silver Star Mountain Resort. It's located in Vernon, and from Salmon Arm, it's about a 45-minute drive to the top of the mountain. They always have lots of parking. They have a really cute little village there, and then they have about 132 ski trails, most of which are beginner and intermediate. That's really good if you're learning to ski, like Armin is learning to ski. And we used to try to take him skiing at Cypress in Vancouver, and it was really stressful. It was very icy kind of conditions with a lot of people around at all times. At Silver Star,
it's a different experience.
Yeah, it's a lot more spaced out, and you actually have...
You feel a lot more free, and it's okay if you fall and you're not going to run into other people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more enjoyable.
Really beautiful mountain, and they have like the main mountain, and then they have a backside as well that even has like a really cute little restaurant on the other side, so you can go skiing there kind of all day. It's so nice. There's lots of overnight accommodations up there as well, so if that's something that you're looking for, there's lots of those opportunities, as well as like a tube town park and skating. It's by far my favorite mountain, but there are other ones around too, including Sun Peaks and Kamloops, Revelstoke Mountain Resort in Revelstoke, and Big White in Kelowna. All, I would say, about an hour to an hour and a half drive away.
Mhm. If you're also into snowmobiling, we have a lot of mountains here locally that offer great trails for snowmobiling. We've got Fly Hills, we've got Queest, and a little bit further we have a really nice trail in Golden.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about community and amenities. Like we mentioned before, Salmon Arm is a small, tight-knit community where people are very supportive of local businesses.
Yeah, there's a lot of local businesses here that are really great, and I find most people are pretty supportive of trying to actually help these businesses. And it's not even just in a like, oh, we need to shop local to help each other out. It's like they actually have super good quality items and great things and great deals that everybody just kind of chooses to shop locally and support locally instead of just always ordering from Amazon or that type of thing. Um, so we really like that. Like there's a lot of great local businesses that we visit all the time and love going to. And you really feel like you're actually supporting your community. Being part of that community is there's a lot of events that happen around Salmon Arm as well, put on either by the city or local businesses. And they're always super, super fun. And some of our favorite ones to go to would be Wednesday on the Wharf. We
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah, there's live music and food trucks that come out, and it's a good time. And we also like the farmers market that happens year round.
And then going to all these different events, like even going to the Salmon Arm Silverbacks games are super fun.
We also have the Salmon Arm Fair that happens every September, and it's been happening since the late 1800s, I believe, annually. And that's really cool. There's live jousting, which I really loved, full contact live jousting like they used to do in medieval times. And that was really cool to see. And yeah.
There's also, so one of the biggest events that happens here every year is the Roots and Blues Festival. And it pretty much doubles the population of Salmon Arm in one weekend. But that's also a really fun community kind of event to go to. If you're worried about maybe moving here and like, how am I going to make friends? Or, I don't know anybody there. Like, is it going to be fun for me? There's a lot of opportunities to join different types of clubs and groups to meet people that are like-minded like you and actually make friends that way.
Yeah, and we have some great Rotary clubs here that put on really fun events to support the community.
Okay, so just also real quick about the amenities that we have here in Salmon Arm. We have access to anything that you could ever need to live. If you do choose to live in one of the kind of surrounding areas of Salmon Arm, you will have to commute either into Salmon Arm or maybe Vernon or Kamloops to actually get some of your items. But there are grocery stores like actually in Blind Bay and Sorrento, Enderby, those areas as well. But if you kind of want to do big shops, you might be coming into Salmon Arm for that. We personally love doing our local grocery shopping at Askew's, but we do also have the big kind of box stores as well. No Frills, Walmart, those are also available here. For food and restaurants, there's a lot of really good restaurants here. The only kind of downside is that they do close pretty early most of the time. And it kind of seems like for restaurants here, you either get like really good food and like not great ambiance, or maybe like vice versa. There are some really good restaurants here that we like going to, and like a shout out to Andiamo's Italian restaurant. That's a really great place. They always have live music, like they have nice lighting in there, and the food is really good. But it's not like every restaurant that you go to here is going to have like that kind of nice ambiance that you might be looking for in a restaurant. It's kind of just something that we noticed from moving from the Lower Mainland.
You might also be wondering about where the closest airport is. Salmon Arm does have an airport, but it's not a commercial airport. It's more of a hobby
General aviation
airport. The closest commercial airport would be either Kelowna or Kamloops, and they're about an hour away.
And Kelowna is now actually an international airport. So you can take direct flights from there to Mexico or the States, whereas Kamloops is not international yet.
And if you're moving here with kids, you might be curious about schools. We have 5 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 senior secondary school with 2 campuses. We are going to be making a video that goes deeper into the schools, so if you're curious, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll make sure to get that video out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about housing. Housing costs in Salmon Arm are significantly cheaper than in a large city. Depending on what you're looking for a detached house, you can start anywhere between $500K and upwards to almost $3 million. And the rental market in Salmon Arm is very strong. If you are looking for a mortgage helper, you can get a house with a basement suite or an in-law suite, and those can be really helpful in paying your mortgage. Sometimes close to 50% of your mortgage can be paid through the rental suite. The cheaper housing prices here make it an ideal place for first-time home buyers looking to get their foot into the market, or even investors who are looking to make cash flow on their rental properties. It's very strong, and there's always demand for renters. You can't even put up a sign or an ad online without getting 10-15 people contacting you in the same day.
Yeah, and that's one thing to keep in mind if you are planning to relocate here. It is pretty challenging to find a rental property, especially if you maybe have a larger family or you have pets. A lot of the rentals here go super quickly and usually to someone that you kind of know. So it's really hard if you don't know anyone here to find a rental property. It's just something to keep in mind. Like, it's not at all like the cities. It's really, really, really challenging finding rental property here.
Yeah. So if you're looking to buy, don't hesitate to get in contact with us. We can help you choose the neighborhood to live in depending on what you're looking for and your ideal home. We hope this video helped answer some of the questions that you had. If there's anything else that you're wondering about and we didn't cover it, let us know in the comments below or get in contact with us and we'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about relocating to the Shuswap and are not yet working with the realtor, we would love to help you. Like we said before, we help people relocate to the Shuswap all the time and we absolutely love it. But you got to reach out to us. So give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to reach out to us. Just know that we have your back when it comes to moving to the Shuswap. So thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.